Well, hey there, welcome to day 84 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we are talking about spiritual growth tools. And I want you to start thinking about tomorrow we are going to begin applying, and I don't have it handy, our growing process. We're going to pick an area of our spiritual well-being and spiritual health that we want to grow and expand in, and we're going to break it down day by day, step by step, and apply the growing process to it. So we leave this month with one solid plan for maintaining and continuing our spiritual growth throughout the rest of the year. So think about what area or what aspect or what spiritual growth related thing you want to work on. It might be a challenge you're having. It might be a goal that you've set for yourself. Whatever it is, we're going to apply the growing process starting tomorrow. So today, let's talk about some tools that we can use to enhance and help us with spiritual growth. I added a couple that are kind of woo-woo, but fun, and I'll probably explain why. But we talked about a lot of these, right? Meditation. Meditation is probably the fastest, easiest, best tool anyone can use because it doesn't have to be a complicated process. It's a matter of taking a couple of deep breaths, quieting your mind, and just being in the present moment, chilling, and seeing what comes up for you. What comes up for you is probably important. But it allows us to cultivate a sense of inner peace, inner knowing. It allows us to connect to what's inside of us and then the bigness in the universe, right? Universal knowledge and wisdoms and things. And we'll talk about that when we talk about mental growth and mental well-being, etc. But for right now, just know that meditation, it's one of my favorite tools in my spiritual growth toolbox. And at the end, I will share with you my current favorite tool for spiritual growth and development. It also helps in a lot of other areas, but I've applied it all month for spiritual well-being and spiritual health, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Crystals. I haven't talked about crystals, and I should have one here handy. I usually do. I don't think that I do right now because I didn't really think about talking about it today. But I added it to the list because crystals, like so many other things in nature, have their own frequency and their own vibration. Rose quartz means love. Amethyst has a lot of spiritual, supposedly spiritual components to it. So meditating with crystals, having crystals around your house, etc., can all add positive energy to your environment. But they're a tool that a lot of people use mystical. They have mystical properties and powers and their own frequency and vibration, just like everything else on the planet has its own vibration, right? The straw has its own vibration, which holds it together as a solid straw. Again, I'm not going to get into quantum physics and metaphysics, properties, etc., but it's all part of the spiritual realm. Another tool I really, really like is journaling. Journaling helps us to be mindful, be in the present moment. It helps us to work through things by writing them down that sometimes we have a hard time just thinking about. Have you ever gotten in that monkey mind thinking where you just go round and around and around and around about something? I did that this morning for a couple minutes, and I'm like, stop. What am I thinking about this about? And I just grabbed my journal and I wrote a couple of keywords down. I had notes in my journal to think about it later so I could just let it go and I could get moving on my day. But journaling, writing things down, you know, my dad always taught my sisters and I, if you don't write a goal down, it's probably not going to manifest. It's not going to show up in your life, because the first step to getting anything that you want is actually committing to it by writing it down. And that helps to create the energy in the universe that puts things in your path that helps you to achieve the things that you want. Tarot cards, the wisdom of tarot. I've got a lot of decks of cards. I love those card decks. I guess that would be, I wouldn't necessarily call that tarot, but different decks of cards, usually based on books that I've read, spiritual books or books about healing or books about positive thinking or possibility or success. And I like to grab those decks sometimes and pull a card out and carry it around with me for the day, just because. Actually, I've got one right here. This is an angel deck. It's a mind body makeover with Mona Lisa on the cover. I was wrong. And it's based on Mona Lisa Schultz's book, The Mind Body Makeover. And these are the cards that go with the book. But sometimes I'll just pick one of my decks of cards, depending on how I'm feeling. I'll grab a card out and I'll just read it, and then I'll carry it with me throughout the day to help me be mindful about whatever it is. This one's for mind and body, but whatever the topic might be. But tarot cards as well can help us to figure out what's going on in our subconscious. I don't know how they work, but supposedly the cards that show up are the cards that are important to you. Obviously, I'm not a tarot card reader, but they help us to pay attention to what's going on and what's really important to us right now. Sacred rituals to nurture our soul. Doing rituals or routines, or I call them habits or routines. Some people call them sacred rituals. Might involve different tools that make you feel comfortable and at peace and more spiritual. It might involve candles. I don't know about you, but when I was a girl, and still today, sometimes when I need a little oomph, I'll go to church and I'll light a candle and I'll say a little prayer, depending on what's going on in my life. And it was easier to do that when I was driving, but since I'm not driving these days, it's a little harder to get to church. But we can still do that in our own homes. We light candles in our homes because the fragrances and the glowing, flickering light for me gives me a sense of peace and calm. But rituals can be whatever you want. They're just your practices. Maybe it's a religious practice. Maybe it's a celebration. Maybe it is baths. I'm a bubble bath lover, and different bath things, usually lavender or Epsom salts or things, relax me and help me to have an inner zen and peace. It helps me to tap into what's really important and to be present. And then, what was the last one I had here? I actually added some more tools to the list I started. Hypnosis is one of my very favorite tools. And I don't go to a hypnotist. Have been to a hypnotist, which was really interesting a few times. And participate in hypnosis on cruise ships, which is entertainment hypnosis, not the same thing. But I have a friend named Victoria Gallagher who she's had an app, a hypnosis meditation affirmations app out. I think it's been probably, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. And she wanted to improve it. And so she found out that technologically it was built on an older platform. So she wasn't able to do that. But she spent the last really 20 years in the making, creating an app called Believe. And there's a free trial for it. But I of course, bought it because I loved her previous app, HypnoCloud, and the Hip Talk app. She has a Hip Talk video podcast. It's excellent too, on different topics of hypnosis and spirituality and different topics. She focuses on the law of attraction, which I think was a great niche for her to focus on because it helps so many people. But I use that app. I've used that app for 33 days, I think, today. Same day it came out. I was one of the first people to have access to the app, and I've logged a whole lot of time on it, mainly because I was traveling, and when you travel, you can listen to a lot more stuff. But she's got different link things, and it's a really great tool because whatever I want to focus on, I can find something that helps me to get in the mode of thinking and the energy of thinking on that particular topic. So, for example, spirituality and spiritual growth. This month I've been focusing on those because that's what we're doing for the challenge. And there are dozens of hypnosis, meditations, and affirmation videos, or they're not videos, they're audios to listen to get me thinking and help me to build upon what works for me. But it's a great tool to use that for. Then there's things like affirmations, which I just mentioned, and Ho'oponopono. I was at my mom's acupuncturist. I couldn't remember the name. Acupuncturist every week for the last 4 weeks, which was incredible. If you've never done acupuncture for relaxation and peace of mind, a lot going on in my family right now, and so it's a very powerful thing to do too. I mean, I was going to say that, but acupuncture, acupressure, massage. But she brought up, have you ever heard of Ho'oponopono? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yes. But it's another one of those tools that you know about, but you forget about over time. Used it, I don't know, a decade and a half ago. And then I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Did a whole thing on it online, which reminded me of it. And then I was just reminded of it about a week ago. And then again by Kim, my mom's acupuncturist. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yes, I have used that, and I do remember. But it's a tool that helps us to be in the present moment, which helps us spiritually. So what are we going to do today? Action item. all you're going to do is share your favorite spiritual growth tool in the comments below. Mine is the Believe app right now. I have all kinds of things built into my life now as part of my daily routines, which are probably routines and rituals. Like I do affirmations every morning when I wake up and when I'm brushing my teeth. I know that's weird, but I do affirmations when I brush my teeth. It helps me keep track and brush my teeth long enough, as well as reinforces the things that are most important to me that I'm trying to create in my life. Many of them are spiritual, right? And to connect me with the rest of the universe. All right, so that's it. What's your favorite tool? Share in the comments below. If there's a tool that I forgot, and I'm sure there are thousands because there are so many out there that you love, share it in the comments below so that we can all learn from one another. All right, guide 2, almost forgot. Write up about tools, as well as Tamara's story about applying and using tools for her spiritual growth journey. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Despite the slow connection that never lets me stop talking.